For those of you who don't know me, I am Tauni Odia. I am a TME on the AI Ops and Meraki Assurance side of the house for Cisco. And I get to talk a lot about AI to folks and ask a lot of questions, and I am not an expert at AI. There are a number of those individuals, but there are a few things that I have learned, and I get a lot of questions from a lot of folks. And I have the opportunity to talk to a lot of customers. And one of the customers called me one day and he was like, Tauni, I'm so excited because they're getting ready to deploy location services. And I said, okay, great. Tell me why you're excited. He said, I'm excited to use the AI functionality in your AnyLocate feature. I'm like, time out for a second. What exactly AI are you excited about? He's like, well, that's AI. You guys use AI to find the devices. That's how you find the location. I said, well, not exactly. We use MC, so we're using round trip time, find type measurements. That's how it works. And so it got me thinking about the whitewashing of AI and the miscommunication and the misunderstanding and what the heck is AI in a world where how can everything be AI? Because that's how we classify everything as AI, right? Because everything is AI. Well, when we look at and break it down, AI is how we classify machines that mimic the cognitive abilities of human beings. Seems simple. So if that's the definition, then how can everything be AI? Hold that thought, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So when we look about, or in addition to the conversations with customers about other things, I get a lot of questions regarding, Tauni, aren't AI and ML the same thing? No, they are not. Isn't deep learning, isn't all of this, everything, it's all AI. And we use those words interchangeably. But the reality is they're not. So think of AI as the overarching system, and that's like up here. That's the classification of machines that can mimic ability. And then machine learning is a subset of that. Machine learning are machines that don't need to be programmed to teach themselves, right? And then we talked about how can everything be classified as AI? Because part of deep learning is algorithms. Deep learning algorithms have the ability to teach and evolve. And because of that, that's why organizations classify everything as AI. It's because the algorithmic functions in different features. So that's why we see that. Now, breaking that down even further, so neural networks is how we define and we use to teach the machines to do the work, to learn, to evolve, to adapt. And then you multi-layer neural networks together, and that's where you get deep learning and where the algorithms start adjusting and adapting to that. And then machine learning, AI is the system, right? So understanding those are the terms that we as an industry use and talk about. What are the different types of AI? Well, the first one is reactive. Reactive AI is when it reacts to different stimuli. There's no inputs from the device. There's no engagement. It's just it reacts to different stimulus. Then we have limited memory, where these devices learn from previous experiences, adapt and adjust and make adjustments for future programs, future interactions. And then we have what we call theory of mind. And this is where we start to get into some of the superintelligence of AI, and where theory of mind AI is classified as entities that can understand and comprehend the needs of other intelligent entities, of other intelligent beings. And then we have self-aware, where they start to build and think through themselves, right? Self-aware, like the awareness of ourselves. And so the industry kind of coalesced around these four terms. And then as developers and as organizations saw the potential and the capability and what could happen, we kind of started to see new terminology come to play. So now we have some new ones. We have something called narrow AI, or artificial narrow intelligence. And what that is that's basically like all the things we have today. So we've got Siri, we've got Alexa, we've got chatbots. All of that is classified as narrow AI. And so it's complex systems functionality. Anybody ever heard of the term generative AI? right? Where does that fit in? So generative AI is a subtype of narrow AI. And as you start to learn more about AI, you go down this rabbit hole, and everything is a subset, and there's a subset, and it goes down like this, right? And so generative AI is that one of those subsets. And it is a content creation or AI. So music, this is where we see ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, narrow AI, a subset, or generative AI subset of narrow AI. And then we get into general AI, and this is where machines can start to mimic human behavior. And they can start to interact and engage with utilizing and giving you back human behavior. And then finally, we see super AI. And when we get to super AI, this is when these machines can start to simulate and engage on a human emotional level and interact and understand complex emotion. And then when we see that and we have all of this AI engaged, I like to look at it as number 8 is when Skynet takes over the world and we're all subjugated, and that's kind of how that goes, right? Because that's where AI comes from. But the reality is, so there's a lot of AI, there's a lot of really, really neat things about it, but what the heck does AI do for us as engineers? What is AI doing for us? What is actually real? And so one of the things that I did was I looked at a product that as engineers we all use, and I looked at 3 different vendors. And I looked at vendor A, B, and C, and the letters literally mean nothing, so don't take that into any consideration. But I looked at 3 vendors, and I said, okay, I want to look at infrastructure operations and insights for this particular product and see what the vendor says about it, right? So I looked at what they said about infrastructure. Vendor A said, we provide AI for zero-touch operations. Okay. Vendor B says, we provide closed-loop AI operations. Vendor C says, we provide unified AI infrastructure. Vendor A says, in regards to insights, we provide unified AI device telemetry. Vendor B says, we provide unparalleled AI insights. Vendor C didn't talk about anything. But it got me thinking, so when a vendor tells me, we provide closed-loop AI operations, what does that mean? Right? What does it mean? What does unified AI device telemetry mean? Great marketing, great buzzwords. As vendors, we get really excited to talk about the things you guys are excited about as well, right? It's trendy. We're just as excited about it as all of our customers and our partners are. But the reality is, when we look at what AI is actually doing in enterprise networking today, it starts with things like threat detection. Who here likes to comb through rogue AP logs? It's a blast, right? It's how we all spend our Friday nights. But AI can do that for us. AI can focus on threat detection and monitoring and alerting for our networks. It looks at predictive behavior. And we can adjust and say, based on last engagements, this is how your network is going to react again in this type of environment or this type of situation. We look at performance monitoring. What is your network doing? Pulling in all of the insights. What is the health score of your network? How is your network performing? Are the devices on your network happy? We look at data aggregation. As humans, we cannot aggregate and take that complex data like the AI can, right? And so data aggregation goes into advanced data analytics. There are millions of telemetry data points that are feeding in our networks, and we unfortunately cannot do that. Humans, that's just not the way we're built. But these complex machines and AI functionality can do that for us. Traffic optimization, right? At Cisco, we have a product called Busy Hour, and you can look at and it adjusts for channel optimization and bandwidth to ensure that when your users are on the network, your network is optimized for that number, right? And so AI can do all of those things for us, but it's not doing the super computing, the super complex stuff. Your machine isn't standing up and saying, hey, I'm taking a break because I just optimized the machine and I'll be back in 10. That's not how it works, right? Oh, and then finally security. I forgot about security. Well, I didn't forget, but security, right? And so when we think about this is where we are today, and drone hammers are going to come take over the world for us, and that's going to be 3 to 5 years. And I know that AI is a very complex topic, and we can't obviously cover anything, but I hope that understanding a few of the terms associated with it help. And if anybody does have questions, I do love to talk, so feel free to ping me, and thank you.